Alrighty, it's been about a year since I made a video. For the reasons I pretty much said in all my videos, I do this with a shitty camera. It's just kind of a rant. It's not to try and be the next big YouTube celebrity. So if I don't have anything to talk about, or it's been addressed by 1,000 other vegan channels that's how they make their living, then good for them. It's not why I do this. So like I said, it's been about 10 months or so, because I checked just to be sure. I was like, when the last time I made a video is. But something came up that comes up every holiday that I've not seen anyone address. This is going to be a two-part kind of thing, but the first part is, I don't understand why vegans every holiday season, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, they turn into the biggest fucking pussies on the planet. I can't even count the amount of Facebook posts I've seen that are to the likeness of, or to the, like, whatever, maybe that's not the word, who gives a shit, but you know what I mean. Pretty much like, oh, I go to my Thanksgiving and, you know, all my family members or one particular family member is just mean and just mocks me for being vegan and this, that, and the other thing, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't want to upset anybody, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I think you've seen the posts if you're vegan, you know the posts I'm talking about, and it absolutely drives me nuts. And like, I think I've probably said this in the other videos, I don't like the whole vegan meter kind of thing, like, you're not vegan enough, or you're too vegan, or you're this, that, the other thing. Like, if you're trying to help animals, even if you're not vegan, if you're vegetarian, if you're trying to help in any way or cutting down on meat, I say good for you. You're doing the right thing. You're at least on your way to doing the best thing possible for the planet, animals, and other human beings. So I really don't like to be militant in that sense. If you're making an effort, good for you. But it just drives me nuts in a sense that if you're vegan and you care about the animals and you're posting shit online and you're defending animals in your everyday life, why do you all of a sudden become this giant fucking vag, just this fucking complete total coward when it comes to holidays? If someone's, I mean, I personally don't go to holidays, but I didn't before I was vegan. I just don't really like people all that much, and I don't get along with people all that much. So aside from my mom and my sister, I don't like my extended family. I never have, I never will. It has nothing to do with being vegan. So for me, I just I just don't go to holidays. I'll go see my mom and my sister, but with my mom and my sister, we don't eat animals when I'm around. We don't eat animal products when I'm around. I mean, if they wanted cheese or something like that, I probably wouldn't have a fit, but they're not fucking eating animals in my presence. It's not happening. But anyway, maybe that makes me a militant dick. But if you want to go to the holidays and you're okay with them pretty much celebrating the torture and murder of turkeys and pigs and cows, depending on what they're eating, it's pretty much a celebration that's completely revolved around that. I mean, technically it's about pilgrims, blah, 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 and Indian. But that's really what it is. It's about a bunch of people stuffing their fat fucking faces with a dead, tortured animal. And if you're willing to go through that and bring your own dish or whatever, blah, blah, like I said, fuck that, I don't do that shit. But, if you want to do that, fine, good for you. But if someone's talking shit to you and you're just, I don't know how to handle it, then you're just a douche. I'm sorry, but like, if they're starting shit, you have every right to tell them to go fuck themselves. Flat out. Not in so many words, flat out. Just fuck off, you fucking asshole. Like, seriously, if it stops everyone in their tracks at the dinner table, who gives a shit? They fucking started acting like a cocksucker first. And then generally the reaction you get, because I've done it, is they just shut the fuck up. Because they realize, oh shit, but maybe I shouldn't fuck around. Or something to that, you know, something similar to that. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but just shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole. Like, whatever, dude. Like, they fucking want to act like fucking cocksuckers, then treat them like they're a fucking cocksucker. Like, it's one thing for your family members that are there and they're just being respectful and trying and say, oh, this is good, blah, blah, and eating a dead animal. Like I said, I don't do that shit, but I didn't do it before I was vegan, so I can't really comment because it has nothing, it's not something I had to work with. I was already not going to holidays. So if that's your thing, cool, thumbs up. But don't be a fucking bitch. You're trying to help animals, but you're really being a fuck because you're making it sound like they're right by letting them talk shit to you when they're not right. I think that's the one thing as a vegan, and maybe this makes me a prick for saying it, is that you have to remember you're right. Even if it's 1 verse 20, 1 verse 100, 1 verse 1,000, 1 verse a million, technically it is 1 verse for 100, because as of right now we're like 1.5 or 1% of the population, so 1 verse for 100 is the statistic. So if it's 20 family members and it's just you, but that family member decides to be an asshole and you're going to offend 20 people, fuck it. Fuck them. They're acting like a fucking cocksucker. I don't care if it's your brother, your sister, your mother, your dad. Fuck them. They should be respectful to the fact that you don't want to torture and murder animals when they think it's perfectly okay to torture and murder animals because they don't give a shit. Like, fuck them. That's the one thing you have to remember is when it all comes down to it, 1 verse 20, 1 verse whatever, you're right. Your stance is right to not harm animals for no reason, which most people would agree with, but we're very easily socially conditioned and very easily brainwashed, and human beings more than anything are followers. They don't want to stand out and they don't want to be different. Which is part of the problem, I think, in general. Like, yeah, you're fine eating your vegan food when no one's around, but when it comes down to it, to really push comes to shove, you got to stand up for the animals. And you don't have to say fuck. You could start like a discussion and just be like, well, I don't think it's okay to fucking murder animals for the fun of it, so fucking sue me, you dickhead. I mean, generally, if people come at me in an aggressive way, I fucking flat out tell them they're pieces of shit. I mean, you don't have to go that route, but you gotta, if you're vegan and you're not just plant-based in your diet, you gotta fucking say something. You gotta have some kind of set of nuts on you and stand up for the animals in some way, shape, or form, or they're basically stomping all over billions of animals, you know, rights and feelings and everything by making those fucking comments. You can make fun of me all you want. I'm not like an anal person about like joking around and being fucked with and fucking with people. But when it comes down to mocking like the suffering of billions of animals and just being flat out an uncaring piece of shit, then fuck them. Basically. Fuck them. So I don't understand I don't even really get what the dilemma is. That's probably why I'm rambling. Like, if someone comes at you, regardless of what it is, in an aggressive fashion, be aggressive back. Vegans already have the stereotype for being fucking pussies. Please don't make it worse by letting some asshole at Thanksgiving or Christmas talk a ton of shit to you and you just be like, fuck off, man. If that's how you look at it, just like I said, I'm not big on the vegan meter, how vegan or non-vegan you are, and judging everybody based on, you know, keeping statistics on how vegan you are. But like, if you're really taking that kind of shit, then you're really just a fucking, you're big an asshole as they are, more or less. Like, you're just making the animals look like they're not worth fighting for, and you're making it look like vegans are just doormat fucking pussies. Because if you let them get away with it, like I said, I burped, I don't edit this shit. If you let them get away with it, you're almost condoning it in a sense. Like, they're thinking like, I just said a bunch of shit to this person, they didn't say anything back. They must not really, it must not be much of a cause if they're not fucking saying anything. So I'm just gonna keep being a fucking prick. Because honestly, I think we've all been that person before we're vegan that's a prick to vegans. And then you all of a sudden, something makes you snap out of it. Maybe if someone fucking told me that I was a piece of shit and blah, 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 it might have worked, might have not. But either way, if they're just a flat out piece of shit and they don't care anyway, just tell them they're a fucking piece of shit. At least it makes it look like you got a pair of balls and you actually care about what you care about. I mean, you are vegan, I would assume, 365 days out of the year, you're going out of your way to not harm these animals. I don't understand why it's like the end of the fucking world to have you stand up to this one dickhead at Thanksgiving. And most people will, you know, even if you call him a fucking piece of shit, it'll probably just be awkward for 30 seconds and everyone will go about their day, and he won't do it anymore. He'll be like, God damn, man, I better shut my fucking mouth because this person doesn't fuck around. It'll honestly be better in the long run, even if you do have an issue with confrontation and being just mean, even when that person fucking came at you first. It'll be better in the long run, trust me. And I just think, in general, like, you really make the animal suffer by not standing up for them at that point and just letting that person be a fucking asshole. And most non-vegans would even agree. Like, if someone's gonna be a complete piece of shit, you have every right to be a piece of shit back. That's why I think if there's one family member being an asshole and everyone else is being respectful, if you tell that family member to shut their fucking mouth, they're probably the family member everyone's hated all along and think is a cocksucker at every fucking get-together. You just happen to be the subject of the cocksuckery at this moment in time. So if you tell them to shut the fuck up, everyone's probably going to be like, secretly, silently, just being like, right on. He fucking needed to hear that shit. Or she. Women can be cocksuckers too. But anyway, so that's the first part. Just, like I said, the main thing is 2100. You're right. Stand up for being right. Period. The other part, that it's 9:40 of the video, so I'll try and mark it if people care shit, is the question, why are you vegan? Right? A lot of people answer it in different ways, and this is kind of I feel almost like an obnoxious dick for making this, because it's like a pro tip, like I fucking know what I'm talking about, when I really know more than anyone else, you know what I I mean? But I think the best way to approach that, because everybody has their own way of approaching it. I used to approach it a different way, but the way I've been approaching it is just asking people, why aren't you? Because for two reasons. One, like I said earlier, that's why it kind of segues, is you're right. You shouldn't have to defend not harming animals. Like, if someone came up to you on the street and was like, why don't you kick your dog? You'd be like, fuck, what do you mean, why don't I kick my dog? It's the same fucking thing. Like, why don't I abuse animals? Like, it shouldn't even have to be defended, right? So you're putting them at the point where they're wrong. They have to defend their wanting to torture and murder animals for the fun of it, or for the brainwashing, or for whatever reason to try and fit in. They should have to defend it. And usually, the other thing it does is it's kind of a minor, almost psychological thing, is it makes you not look as judgmental, if that makes sense. Because, like, if they ask you, why aren't you vegan? And you're like, because for whatever reason, you know all the reasons, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like you're coming at them, like saying they're doing something wrong. But if you ask them, well, they are doing something wrong. But if you ask them, why aren't you? They're starting with a more specific thing, and you could kind of rebut what they're saying, as opposed to just looking like you're going right after what they do. Because if, like, say, like, and a lot of times they'll be like, well, I asked you first. Well, that's easy. Then you could answer your question, but their questions, but you generally, if you just answer their question like, why are you vegan? Well, why aren't you? Well, I asked you first. Okay, I'm vegan because I don't think it's morally right to murder and torture animals for the fun of it, right? Then they generally are going to, like, be like, all right, fuck it, I'll just walk away because this person probably knows what they're talking about at the end of the conversation. But if you get out, why aren't you? Well, they have to answer your question now. And it'll start more of a discussion. And like I said, it puts them on the defensive where they should be, because they should have to be defending their actions, not vice versa. For me, it's not even, like, we're not vegan. We're normal human beings. They're carnists. Like, that's really the mentality it should be, even though we're the minority. But the way I look at it is that's the truth. Like, biologically, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. They're doing the wrong thing. For humans, the planet, everything else, blah, blah, blah. They should have to defend it. So that's the way why are you vegan? Well, why aren't you? It's that simple, you know? I think that's the best way to answer it, because like I said, it puts them, they have to justify what they're doing, because that's the way it should be. Vegans shouldn't have to justify fucking anything. Like I said, like, if I was hanging out in my house drowning a bunch of puppies in my sink, the person who tells me to stop would have to justify it? That doesn't make any sense. Everyone would be like, why the fuck are you drowning puppies in your sink, you fucking sicko? It wouldn't be like, well, why wouldn't I be drowning puppies in my sink? But you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't have to be defended, not harming animals. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have to be defended, period. And I think I've been jumping around a lot, and it's been probably very confusing, but that's fine. Like I said, I do it in one take. Take what you can out of it. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely the best way to do it. I don't think there's any better way to answer it. Like I said, it starts a discussion, for one. Two, it puts them to the point where they're giving more specifics and you're just defending those specifics. Because I was going to say, as a vegan, I would assume like 99%, you know all the arguments. If you've been vegan, you've done the research prior to being vegan about, like, you know, the environment, like how it steals, you know, food from people because it takes like 16 pounds of grain to make 1 pound of beef. You know all the arguments. So as they go, like, if they're like, oh, well, my ancestors did it. Well, fucking who gives a shit if your ancestors did it? Our ancestors used to rape women for fun. They used to own slaves. They used to do all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, But I'm saying they could still walk away at that point, but at least you got a little farther than if you just answered them and then they walked away. Because usually that's all you get out of it is, why are you vegan? Blah, blah, blah. All right, see you later. But yeah, why aren't you? And like I said, it creates a discussion one. It puts them where they need to be, defending animal abuse, as opposed to defending not abusing animals. Like I said, with the whole fucking drowning puppies, setting monkeys on fire, whatever. Like, no one would expect the person saying you shouldn't set monkeys on fire to defend themselves. It's common fucking... What do you mean you don't harm animals for the fun of it? It's fucking common sense. It's no-brainer. But because of the way society is, we're wrong and they're right. But like I said, we're right. When it comes down to it, the reason these kind of segue into each other, it's 15 minutes long, it's been kind of long-winded. We're right. Period. we shouldn't have to defend anything. We shouldn't have to be attacked for being right. And if that makes me sound judgmental and a prick, tough shit. You know, I'm sure when slavery was legal or when women didn't have rights and someone's like, hey, don't rape that woman, that's not cool, they were like, oh, you fucking judgmental, arrogant fuck, like, how dare you tell me to treat this woman like she's a person? You know, it's the same thing, like, hey, don't murder those pigs for no reason, because your fat ass likes bacon. They're the same thing, like, oh, you judgmental fucking prick, blah, 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 blah. Everyone judges, I said it in another video, it's just you judge people based on your morality. So, like, vegans are no more judgmental than anyone else. We just happen to think you shouldn't murder billions of sentient beings to stuff fucking bacon in your fat fucking face. I don't know, I think it's a pretty logical way to look at things. That's it. In summary, we're right. Act like it. Okay? If someone's being a fuck to you at Thanksgiving, they're probably a fuck to everybody, and everyone fucking hates them anyway, so just tell them to shut their fucking mouth. 3, if someone asks you, why are you vegan? Ask them why not. I mean, ask them why aren't you? Well, yeah, why not? That's a good one too. But anyway, if someone asks you why you're vegan and you don't know how to respond, ask them why aren't you? Like I said, it makes them have to defend what they're doing. And basically the best thing is if they asked you first, I think it's morally wrong to torture and murder animals for the fun of it. Now you got to answer your part. And then it basically puts them on the defensive where they should be as opposed to you being on the defensive. And like I said, even though it puts them on the defensive, which logically you would think would make it seem like you're judging them, it makes it seem less so because they're saying something that you're rebutting as opposed to you just going off on them. You know what I mean? It feels more like a discussion to them than you just attacking them, which, like, I don't really care about their feelings, but I do care about getting the message across for the animals. So I think there's literally, if anyone watches this and wants to comment on a better way to handle it, I'm all ears. I just think that is the best way to handle it because it instead of you having a process in your brain a million different things to say, it, you know, makes it more specific in the conversation and adds to the conversation. And like I said, you shouldn't have to defend not wanting to harm animals for the fun of it. And this video, like most of my videos, I repeated myself a lot. They're long-winded. If you made it to the end, congratulations. I love you.